Memories of Michael. Son, brother, nephew, uncle, cousin, friend. My cousin Michael and I were born just a few weeks apart, and although I cherished my two sisters, he was more the brother I never had. We understood each other and respected each other's quirks. We shared traits as well, both curious and stubborn, passionate and optimistic. Michael's zodiac sign is Aquarius, defined by one who marches to the beat of a different drummer. I always related to this phrase, as I always thought to be different. Michael had the impressive quality to take the high road, often the road not always taken by others. Instead of lamenting, he rose above, and unlike me, not caught up too much with what others thought about him, although with a heart of gold, he courageously forged ahead, more concerned about adventure and discovery and what's around the bend. Michael teaches us a great deal. I have many treasured memories of Michael, and I'm honored to share these three favorites. It was hard to pick the favorites. Wrexham Beach, Mass, summer 1975, Clamfest. Our family happy place was this beach on the cusp of Cape Cod, the annual three-family reunion of 16 cousins that was magic. Michael was a determined clammer, always seeking new clam beds, until one late summer day he discovered the holy grail of clams, the mother lode. On this day, the sunset was fast approaching, as was high tide. Uncle Paul had just beached his beloved sunfish, the Flossie Lou, for the day, and Auntie Florence had finished her daily hours-long float. Michael appears on the dunes with a rake, a shovel, and a pail. The tide is still quickly rising, but revealed a spit of a sandbar looming in the distance. There was his target, rising and teeming with quahogs. An aggressive match of sand shoes was underway on the higher sand, and no one but me spies Michael wading into the water towards the beckoning treasure. There he was on the raised mound in ankle-deep water. I see his shovel waving madly as he lifted the giant white shells glinting in the sunlight and tossing them into his pail. After bringing to shore his first haul, he comes over and exclaims, "The clams are biting today. You want to help?" How could I say no to Michael? It was now impossible to wade out as the gap between shore and sandbar was closing. Michael, undeterred as ever, grabbed the inflatable raft and we rowed out. Back and forth we went, now 2 shovels, digging up clams and bringing our packed buckets to the shore. Soon we heard what we assumed were the sounds of a welcoming crowd celebrating the conquering clam heroes. But no, we make out their screams. "Get in now, the storm's coming." Uncle Paul swam out to grab the rope and haul us back to shore. We were in trouble and everyone was enraged at us, but Michael, being Michael, said with a broad smile, "But I bet you're gonna love these clams." The memory of those clams dripping in butter I savor in my dreams, as does the look of determination on Michael's face. Michael always showed us how to seek our bliss. Thank God the game warden had the day off. Killington, Vermont, winter 1978, ski tracks. Michael started a Saturday tradition then, as we were all skiing a lot. He figured if we left from Brookline early enough, we could make it to Killington, ski all day, and be home that night. So he drove in from Norwood, picked me up at 5 a.m. with Simon and Garfunkel blasting in his car, and we pulled into the parking lot by 9, grabbed our gear, head to the chairlift, totally psyched. Soon we got Joanne to join us on these events, and she would drive us as we realized better to stay the whole weekend to maximize the skiing at the top ski resort in the East. Michael, of course, would continuously go to the summit and seek out the double black diamonds. We always agreed to meet in one of the lodges for lunch, where Michael regaled us with the most astounding ski mishaps and triumphs. From wipeouts to hidden ski jumps to tunnels we never even knew existed, to wildlife encounters, to lost hats and poles. These stories were told with much gusto and laughter. He couldn't get enough. We did ski many trails together though, huddled in the sub-zero Vermont freeze on the triple lift, and Michael's idea was to sing TV sitcom theme songs to pass the time. So it was us, the Walsh Trio, singing at the top of our lungs, the Beverly Hillbillies, Green Acres, Petticoat Junction. And after the last run of the day, we'd head to a general store to stock up on Vermont cheddar cheese and gummy worms, and Michael would share his best jokes. One particular shaggy dog story had us in stitches. To this day, the memory of it makes me laugh to myself. And without even needing to share the story, the whole joke, you just have to imagine Michael speaking the punchline, laughing to himself so hard he could barely breathe. And I was told not to say the punchline, but I'm gonna say the punchline, and maybe you'll get the whole joke later. Joanne knows it very well. And after 2 weeks, the pigs left. We'll explain. Michael always showed us the importance of grabbing adventure and pushing ourselves into unknown Black Diamond territory. Plus, the transportive power of singing at the top of your lungs. No regrets. Little mini break.
I don't know how she can read it, the printing is like this.
I know. I said to myself, why didn't I enlarge it, Deacon? And finally, this story. Somewhere on 95 South, just outside Stamford, Connecticut, winter 1994. It's called Saving Ted Williams. By now, Michael had a thriving sports memorabilia business and worked tirelessly to make sales and trades. He spent a lot of time on the road, renting space at flea markets, card shows, and as Joanne often says, he worked 24/7. One wintry Sunday night, I got a call from Michael saying he was on his way to a major show near our house in White Plains, and his car had just broken down in Bridgeport, Connecticut. No service stations were open. His car was packed to the roof with his entire priceless collection. I told him we're on our way and stay in the car with the doors locked. By the time we arrive, Michael shows us the trunk and the back seat, and Paul and I were shocked and flabbergasted as we had never seen such a trove of sports cards and sports items in our lives. Michael, how did you see out the back window with all these piles? He said, I just had to point south to get here and keep going. We realized the only thing to do was to move all the memorabilia from his car into ours and bring Michael home to stay with us so we could get his car fixed the next day, just to be safe. So we did. We moved it all into our car and then later into our garage. All of it, every last baseball card. Michael was laughing and telling us all the valuables that were in his collection that were now in our garage. Rookie cards for Ted Williams and Bobby Orr, an old tin sign advertising Yaz Bread, a Larry Bird signed playing shirt, and more, and more. I said to Paul, we better pray we don't have a fire in our garage tonight. The next day, with his car repaired and the merchandise safe and sound, we said our goodbyes and hugs to Michael. We noticed he had left something for us on the dining room table. It was an autographed Jack Nicklaus Sports Illustrated 1963 cover celebrating Jack's first Masters win on the 18th hole. He knew we were big golfers, and it means the world to us. Michael saw the silver lining in every situation. Take what the road gives you, keep going, and shrug it off with laughter, and take the time to be appreciative. Finally, Michael had this incredible superpower that he would use when one of us was down or needed cheering up. It was a simple 2-word phrase that I'm sure many of you heard dozens of times, especially in the family. He would look you in the eye, pointing his finger at you, and say, "You're smiling." But he would say it over and over again.
Until you smile.
Until you smile. And it worked so well, at the end of it, you're smiling. You were in convulsions and you couldn't stop. So thank you for that, Michael. And by the way, Michael, you're smiling.